What screams red flag if it's the person's favorite movie? Aliens start to invade Earth. What do you do? What died as fast as it blew up? Google Glasses, monkeypox, or rather news about monkeypox. Coney 2012, Harlem Shake. That one stuck around for too long as it was. Fidget spinners, Target in Canada, 3D TVs, thankfully. Yeah, I feel bad for anyone who actually bought one of those things. Pretty much any TikTok challenge except for like planking and the mannequin challenge, you know, the ones that drug it out just a little longer. Neither of those are TikTok challenges, but okay. Oppa Gangnam Style, Among Us. I sub in a school and kids graduated with it being the biggest problem in the classroom only to come back in September and it was done. Among Us is still one of the most popular meme formats literally 2.5 years later. So I don't know what you're saying. Like, I know not a lot of people play it anymore, but it is still a cultural phenomenon. I'm an island boy. What's the worst truth or dare you've ever heard or seen? Isn't there some Redditor who got dared to go home? What a burn. That guy that ate a slug/snail and got paralyzed and then died. Oh my God, I never heard about that. Truth or dare moment. I asked a girl if she ever cheated on her boyfriend. She said yes. Her boyfriend was sitting next to her, and apparently he didn't know she had cheated on him. Let's just say I gave them space that evening and left early. Send one of your parents a sext and don't reply to them for 1 hour. Oh, what the? The worst I've ever saw and heard was, I dare you to climb the White House gates and hug the president. So you just daring this guy to die, right? Okay. Got dared to leave, never came back since. Is it a rule that you can't dare someone to choose truth? That's right, that is a rule. I just made sure. Broski had to go up to the middle of the lunchroom and start dancing and shouting. We did that without dares. Which band is your favorite of all time? My personal favorite is the band Bad Sons. They're like an indie rock band. Love them to death. Highly recommend. Social Distortion, The Strokes, Fleetwood Mac, 9 Inch Nails, My Chemical Romance, Florence and the Machine, Pearl Jam, Linkin Park. How did the quiet kid in your class turn out as an adult? I think I turned out fine. I was the quiet kid. I turned into a quiet adult. I don't know. He never talks about it. Turns out I am a pretty decent teacher. He joined the military fresh out of high school, class of 97, and would be killed in 2008. Rest in peace. He became manager of a store, married with 2 children, and has a nice home. I was the quiet one. I turned out better than all of those who attempted to bully me. Most of them got normal office jobs and got married. He has a gun store now and a shooting range. I have an anonymous minimum wage job and still live with my parents. Hey, me too. Who's the most famous drummer ever? Animal, Neil Peart, RIP, my neighbor at 1 a.m. They're world famous in this neighborhood. This is hard to quantify since the question is not who is subjectively the greatest, but the most famous. You might have to say Ringo Starr. Phil Collins may also be a contender. The Little Drummer Boy, Parumpapum-rum, Dave Grohl, or John Bonham. Lars Ulrich might also be a very widely known name. If you could only eat one candy for the rest of your life, which would you pick? Twix. I don't trust you at all. Those dark chocolate oranges that you have to bang on the table to separate the sections. Haribo for life. Peanut M&Ms. Sour Patch Kids? No question. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. The only acceptable reason to not answer Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is if you have a life-threatening allergy. Skittles. Snickers. That's easy. Pez. Cherry-flavored Pez. Definitely a very strange answer, but I respect it. What's your favorite history fact? Mel Blanc, the voice actor for many cartoons including Bugs Bunny, got into a very bad car accident in 1961. He was sent to the hospital and was in a coma for 21 days. On the 22nd night, while doing her routine checkup on Mel's comatose body, the nurse casually said, "Hey Bugs Bunny, how are you doing tonight?" To which Mel responded, "What's up, Doc?" in his Bugs Bunny voice. And that was the moment Mel woke up from his coma and lived for another 28 years. Every Purple Heart awarded to a wounded American soldier in the past 75 years was created for the anticipated invasion of Japan in World War II. The microwave was discovered completely accidentally by a guy playing with a new kind of vacuum tube called a magnetron. He first noticed his chocolate bar had melted in his pocket. Then he experimented by placing popcorn kernels near the magnetron. Then he blew up an egg and decided to put it in a metal box to concentrate the energy. He learned you could heat food extremely quickly this way. Alice Roosevelt Longsworth, daughter of Theodore Roosevelt, was a bit of a wild child. She would smoke on the rooftop when told not to smoke in the house. She went to horse races and had a pet snake in her handbag named Emily Spinach. Some of Roosevelt's staff brought Emily's behavior to the attention of her father, to which TR replied, "I can either run the country or I can attend to Alice, but I cannot possibly do both." Despite Alice skirting early 20th century conventions, she did help her father, even going on diplomatic trips to Asia, where she met with Emperor Meiji of Japan Japan and Dowager Empress Cixi of China. Napoleon's penis was removed by the doctor during the autopsy. He kept it preserved in a jar. It has been sold, auctioned, and handed down over the years. In the 70s, it was purchased by a professor of urology in New Jersey, and after his death, is now owned by his daughter. Read an interview with some guy who survived the sinking of the Titanic as a kid. Afterwards, he lived near a baseball field. He couldn't stand it because the sound of thousands of people cheering reminded him of what the screams of the damned in the ice-cold water sounded like when the Titanic finally went under. But reportedly, there were also people in the water cheering on the younger and stronger ones among them who got close to or managed to clamber into a lifeboat. Cleopatra was born about 2,500 years after the Great Pyramid of Giza was built, and about 2,000 years before the first lunar landing. That fact means that Cleopatra is closer to our present time than to the times of ancient Egypt's early dynastic past. What's the creepiest cult? The Anthill Kids. Viewer discretion is advised because JFC, the Institute of Basic Life Principles, or the Advanced Training Institute. It's the cult the Duggars are a part of. Doesn't exist anymore, but People's Temple. The audio tapes are creepy as hell. Nexum. Probably more so because I know Keith, the one who started it. Exclusive Brethren are sickos and are infiltrating communities all over Australia. The people who obsess over a specific celebrity. K-pop ones seem to be the wildest. Why hasn't anyone mentioned the Jehovah's Witnesses? They are just as bad or worse than the rest of these tats. And no, they don't deserve capitals. MAGA. Hi, do you have a moment to talk about Helix? Westboro Baptists. I differentiate them from mainline Baptist Scientology a close second. 13-year-old TikTok girls. That is not a cult. That is just a group of people you're scared of. If you randomly became the last person on Earth, what would you do? Try not to break my prescription glasses. I would try to force the apes to evolve. But are there dogs? I'd probably just try to get caught up on my sleep. Be living my best life with social anxiety to the max. Be just like the guy from Castaway with my little volleyball living it up. Go to the White House and try to uncover all the top secret documents. Download as much stuff as I can, assuming the internet still works. If it doesn't, I guess I grab whatever DVDs and games I can get my hands on. But what good is it when the power goes out? Public nudity has now become the law, says me. Break everything! I would go to my neighbor's farm and care for the cows in the fields until I died of an asthma attack when the inhalers ran out. What is, in your opinion, the most rewatchable movie? Jurassic Park. 1, of course. Idiocracy. It gets funnier the more you watch it. Groundhog Day. I see what you did there. Hot Fuzz can be rewatched multiple times. This movie always brings some new things that you haven't noticed before. Trains, planes, and automobiles. The Back to the Future trilogy. Not. These movies suck. Die Hard every Christmas. That's true. Die Hard and other wonderful Christmas movies like Iron Man 3. The Emperor's New Groove. Lord of the Rings extended, of course. Yeah, you can only watch it like, only 4 times a day. Such a long movie. The Dark Knight. Ratatouille. Shrek. Maybe not the first one. Second one though, maybe. Yeah. Pirates of the Caribbean 1, 2, and 3. What book blew your mind? The Road. 1984. It's a masterpiece. Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert A. Heinlein. I was a Rothfuss fan. The Name of the Wind is an all-time favorite. The Hunger Games trilogy. I was not expecting it to be as addicting and well-written as it was. Everybody Poops. Percy Jackson. 1 to 100. So fast. Fell in love with the whole collection. Walk 2 Moons. What is your car's name? My first car was named Ellie, after Ellie Goulding. And then I had a white car named Seamus. And now my current car is named Skrunkly. Don't ask. Clifford, the big red Ford. Vlad, he's an Impala. Appa, Indy, it's a Subaru made at a plant in Indiana. Blueberry, Gertrude, Liam Neeson, Dory, I assume it's a Ford Escape. Harrison, it's a Ford, so I figured it fit. Brondo, the Brontosaurus. Ruby, Subaru Outback. What activity is only fun if you're good at it? Flirting, skiing, skateboarding. You need nerves of steel too. Dating. I had no idea how most guys don't enjoy flirting with women. How did you get that impression? I had the exact same thought. They explicitly told me. Flirting is hard, man. I'm not very good at it. I used to be so much better at it, but now I'm soft. I'm washed. Golf. Musical instruments. When learning a new song, it's incredibly frustrating. Wrong notes, wrong expression, wrong tempo, wrong thing, wrong that, etc. But once you get it right, it's so much fun. Karaoke springs to mind, but other than that, playing any sport from bowling to football, even spectating sports. Swimming. You're either good at it or you're fighting drowning. Math. Knitting or crocheting. Most frustrating experience. What has been the best decision of your life? Ending my meth problem and then going back to college. I earned 2 degrees from 2 schools and now have a much better life. Embracing that I like boring stuff and don't have to pretend being a fun person. If my biggest adventure of the day is picking what flavor of tea to drink, I'm happy. Doing nothing on a weekend. Nice. Knitting. Wonderful. GDPR rules? Actually pretty interesting. Quitting that hell of a job and finding something less stressful. Learning how to be happy on my own. Grabbing a book for the first time and finishing it. Little did I know, after 30 books later, it was still my favorite. Rage quitting a job I hated and moved across the country 5 years ago. Started a company, doing alright, bought a house and a little Sunday car to blast around the Rockies, to stir off from other social media and use Reddit. What is something duct tape can't fix? Emotional damage! Things that you would use WD-40 to fix. Shout out to the theory that WD-40 and duct tape can be used to fix anything. Also, duct tape is terrible for fixing ducks. Go figure. A broken heart. Even duct tape can't fix stupid, but it can restrain it. Crippling anxiety. Jamie Oliver's fried rice. Yeah, that stuff is so bad. Oh my god, it looks horrible. Diarrhea. It can't fix diarrhea. My last relationship. A boat I sawed in half. I'm Phil Swift, introducing Flex Tape. Gamers. What is the game that got you into gaming? That old NES cartridge with Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt. I also remember asking my dad if it was okay for me to play The Legend of Zelda, thinking it was a game for adults since it had swords and stuff. He told me it was fine, and I felt so empowered and grown up in that very moment. The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. RuneScape. Age of Empires. Haju Holu. Pokemon Red. Call of Duty. World at War. Worms. God, I love the Worms games. I grew up playing Worms Revolution. It was so good. Prince of Persia on DOS. Super Mario Bros. For the NES. Temple Run. Mobile game, alright. Tetris on an Apple II. Tetris on the Nintendo Entertainment System. GTA 3. What is guaranteed to always be in your fridge? Leftovers I said I would eat, but will end up throwing away. Cheese. Eggs. I live alone and grew up as a latchkey kid. I can make eggs about 100 different ways. Water. Italian dressing. Hot sauce. Cheese. Multiple half-eaten jars of salsa and pickles. Apples. I keep guac ready at all times. You must be making guac all the time then, considering guac only lasts like a day or two before it goes. An expired bag of salad. What do we all need to calm down about? People making comments you don't agree with on Reddit. I disagree. I'm now waiting to board a flight in an airport, and every time it's been announced that the delay will be a bit longer, the woman in front of me rants at the flight attendants from the comfort of her own seat. Like, I know you're that upset about it, but your screaming doesn't make the plane arrive at the gate any quicker. How about we all stop smearing cake on birthday people's faces, or slamming their heads onto tables trying to do it? It's forking stupid. Canceling people for tweets from 10 years ago. People change. WTF. Panic about stuff by just reading headlines without bothering looking at any form of data whatsoever. Giving a crap about what someone else is doing that doesn't affect you. Other people's business. The Sam Smith performance. Is it good that I have no idea what the hell you're talking about? Because I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Everything in general. Who Leo's dating this month? Well, to be fair, Leo's weird because he's in his 50s and he dates women in their early 20s. And only women in their early 20s. What band has a terrible name? The Goo Goo Dolls. The Front Bottoms. Bad music, bad name. What can I say? Bread. Rainbow Butt Monkeys. Foo Fighters. Honestly, if I would have taken this whole career thing seriously, I would have named it something else because it's literally the worst forking band name in the world. Yeah, what is Foo and why are we fighting it? Live. I mean, really? 30 Seconds to Mars. Butthole Surfers. The prompt was bad band names, not amazing band names. Thunderput. They're very talented and we're touring with Alice in Chains. Aliens start to invade Earth. What do you do? I will build a wall and make them pay for it. Nothing. I don't live in the US, so I'm safe. Splash some H2O on them. If you can't trust M. Night Shyamalan to defend Earth, who can you trust? Get naked and welcome them. I, for one, would welcome our new alien overlords. Well, if they can rule us better than who we have already, I'll hug them. If another civilization is able to travel between planets, there's nothing you can do with the current technology that we have right now to defend yourself if they have bad intentions against us. Move to Switzerland. Give them a chance. They may be an improvement over our current ruling class. What screams red flag if it's the person's favorite movie? I had a boss with a Wolf of Wall Street scene with some douchey quote as his desktop background. Shockingly, he lacked any semblance of integrity. Human Centipede 2. They made a second one? The Last Airbender. Additionally, Dragon Ball Evolution. The Notebook. Hi, I think emotional blackmail is the height of romance. No thanks. Fight Club, but if they think Durden is a good guy. Home Alone 3 and 4. The Birth of a Nation. Triumph of the Will, or Cuties. Minions. Joker, and they identify with the Joker. The Room. The Truman Show, because they're probably schizophrenic. 50 Shades. Any of them. Doesn't even need to be specific. Anything superhero related. I don't think that's a red flag at all. What do you mean anything superhero related? That's like such a wide range of things. Not a red flag. You're just cringe, I think. That's it for today's video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful night. Goodbye.